Chapter 1: Introduction. In a world increasingly driven by data and discoveries, understanding what science can and cannot tell us is vitally important. By picking up this book, you have shown an interest, perhaps even a concern, about how science is wielded in our society. I aim to explore the nuances of science's role in our lives, unravel its misuse, and delineate its limits. If you're tuned into the media's noise, you might be convinced science is the line of division between left and right, between pro-choice and pro-life, between pro-vax and anti-vax, between climate change enthusiasts and fracking enthusiasts. And ultimately, it seems science is the line of division between Democrats and Republicans. This book is an opportunity for you to free yourself from the noise-making machines of various media channels, platforms, and political campaigns. Meditate on what science can and cannot tell you, and understand the many ways science has been misused, overused, and outright abused. I love science and could not have been more troubled and confused by our current state of the world that we are all experiencing. Here's how I'm experiencing it. On one hand, I'm thrilled that science, humanity's most powerful tool, has become a part of everyday conversation. Politicians, journalists, public figures frequently mention science, suggesting we are leveraging this tool to unprecedented extents. On the other hand, I'm troubled by how science is often referenced without a complete understanding of its scope and limitations. When I read headlines claiming that science says humans are unequivocally the cause of global warming, I question the implied certainty. This tension between the celebration and misunderstanding of science brings me to a critical reason for writing this book. Science has become the de facto divide in political and societal debates, from global warming to abortion, vaccination, and responses to pandemics like COVID-19. How did a tool designed to uncover truth and improve lives become a line of division? Science is just that, a tool. It does not hold opinions, nor does it lean politically. This paradox is central to our journey in this book. Throughout the following pages, I will explain why science has become such a contentious element in our society and how you can protect yourself and the integrity of science from systemic misuse. Another reason to read this book is that it will help you recognize science's boundaries. Let me give you an example so you understand what I mean by the boundary of science. For instance, during the COVID-19 pandemic, I frequently encountered statements from health authorities like the CDC claiming that science tells us to implement specific policies. I often found myself searching for the scientific basis behind these decisions, only to realize that science, by its nature, cannot make decisions for us. Instead, it provides data that people must interpret and act upon. In the following chapters, I will illustrate how phrases like science tells us are often misused to enforce policies without leveling with the public. To truly appreciate various misuses and abuses of science, we must first understand scientists' evolving role and perception in our society. Our journey will begin with the understanding that the term scientist no longer refers to someone passionate about scientific method and discovery. Today, scientist is a job title often tied to financial compensation and organizational hierarchies. Scientists are usually not the ones deciding which questions to explore or how to apply their findings. Those decisions are made by their employers. For instance, scientists at Pfizer focused on determining the safety and efficacy of their COVID-19 vaccine because that was the question posed to them by their company. Increasingly, the most critical decisions in science, what questions to ask and what to do with the answers, are out of scientists' hands. For example, a data scientist at Facebook might be more interested in studying the impact of social media and mental health. Still, their job might instead require them to find ways to increase user engagement with advertisements. This shift in focus highlights the need to scrutinize the scientific findings and their motivations. Whenever you encounter a scientific claim, ask yourself these questions. What is the question that science is being used to answer? Who is paying to find the answer to the question? Who will use the findings and how? This book will help you develop the skills to answer these questions through numerous examples. But first, we need to understand the most applied scientific methods. Chapters 2 to 9 will cover the essential tools of science: modeling, measuring, hypothesis testing, peer-reviewed journals, and more. While we will not go deeply into these methods, you should expect to gain a quick reality check regarding the scientific claims you encounter. Once we cover the easy-to-follow overview of science's tool in chapters 2 to 9, we will explore science's involvement in critical societal issues, including global warming, pharmaceutical industry, nutrition, education, and even elections in chapters 10 to 19. In chapter 10, we will see how the failure of nuanced science communication in the case of global warming has led to years of unnecessary contentious debates and how we continue to struggle societally when trying to develop appropriate policies. Chapter 11 discusses what happened during the COVID-19 pandemic in terms of misusing the name and credit of science to push for one group's agenda. Chapter 12 will explore how the notorious Big Pharma abuses science and why they can legally do so without any consequences. Chapter 13 and 14 will discuss the long-standing abuses of science in nutrition and parenting, providing you with tools to protect yourself from misguided scientific conclusions. I am very passionate about Chapter 15's message regarding the entanglement of science and education. You will be able to distinguish between these two institutions and see the many ways we are unfortunately accustomed to seeing these valuable and powerful tools abused. In chapters 16, 17, and 18, we will discuss 3 cases where science is misused/abused in addressing them: the science of happiness, abortion, and gender fluidity. I will show you how using science in these realms exemplifies the saying, when all you have is a hammer, everything looks like a nail. I'm very excited for you to read chapter 19, Science and Elections. This chapter will share why science has become a seeming line of divide through various recent historical examples. The chapter will also provide a path forward to use science for healing instead of adding to our divide. In chapter 20, we will wrap up with an overview of the key messages and tools you have picked up in the book, and conclude with some final reflections on navigating the dividing edge of science. Join me on this journey to unravel the misuse and limits of science, and together, let us learn how to use this powerful tool responsibly.